Well, as the G20 Summit comes to an end, let's turn to John Gong. He's a professor at the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing. Professor, let me begin with President Xi's state visit to Brazil. What will you be looking for from this trip, his fifth to Brazil?
Well, first of all, I think there are over at least 20 world leaders gathering in Brazil. But I think it's very special for China is that in addition to that summit, President Xi is also paying a state visit to the capital city of Brazil. I think that's quite a significant event. The second thing I want to mention is that this is actually the fifth visit by President Xi to Brazil, highlighting the importance of Brazil to China, in my view. I think during the talks between him and the president of Brazil, definitely there will be discussions of further tightening the relationship between the two countries on economic end, regarding, for example, China's investments in Brazil, China's participation in infrastructure projects in Brazil. In addition to in the energy sectors, Brazil has a huge infrastructure build-out gap that China can play a very important role. Even though both countries haven't signed a kind of a Belt and Road Initiative, but in substance, this type of infrastructure projects have already taken place. So I think there are a range of issues that they're going to discuss, and I'm pretty sure, in addition to economic matters and bilateral matters, also they will be exchanging views about the world. In particular, I think with the conflict in Europe, in Ukraine, both sides take the leadership of trying to mediating a peace solution in Ukraine. I think these are kind of issues both sides will discuss.
And going back to the G20, President Xi had a number of important bilateral meetings on the sidelines, France, Germany, Argentina, Australia, to name a few. Professor, are these bilateral meetings that happen on the side of these larger gatherings, economic gatherings, would you say those are even perhaps more important?
I think in a sense they are actually, particularly against the backdrop of the power shift in Washington, and the incoming Trump administration is going to take a drastic policy change with respect to global matters. We all know that President-elect Trump's stance on climate change, on trade, on a range of issues. I think discussions of this kind between President Xi and Western leaders really important in terms of preparing for what's in store coming from Washington. And I think on a range of issues, probably China and these leading Western countries have probably the same position.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Professor John Gong joining us live from Beijing. Professor, thank you very much.
Thank you.